Do. How's it going, everyone? Wait for some people to get in here. Rub my eyes for dexterity. Oh boy. Waiting for people to get here. What's up, Mo? How's it going? I'm gonna tweet out our Q&A here. All right, got that. What's up, Ryan? Have at least one more video coming out today. We got Prime News episode that will be landing, I don't know, probably 2 hours after I'm done with this live stream, maybe a little earlier than usual, just because I do have a meeting with some people that I need to take care of later today, and then tomorrow I'm going to the Brewers game, so I don't know if we're going to have a Prime News tomorrow. I'll probably have some sort of a discussion video or something going up tomorrow, like early in the morning. But that might be it, since I am heading off to the playoff game, and I'm leaving at like 10 a.m. And God, I'm gonna be really exhausted on Friday. Let me tell you, Friday's not gonna be a fun day for me, but it's life, right? All right. Autocorrected to Zoo. I don't know what you were trying to type. What's up, Ringo Mingo, Duo, Ryan, Mo, Larry, and what's the other Stooge's name? I always forget. How you guys doing today? What's up, Setsuna Angel 99? Now remember, folks, anyone that has questions for me, just ping my name in the chat. I know we don't have a lot of people here right now, so it's actually not that hard for me to answer questions in the moment. Yeah, let's just give her nuts, huh? Let's see what happens. First he thought it said weed Q&A. Yeah. No, we don't do those kind of drugs here. Drugs, medicine, medicinal, recreational. Don't do that kind of stuff here. Ariel Lazarus, welcome, says, hi, it's a good thing I'm following you on Twitch, even though I only watch on YouTube. YouTube hardly ever tells me you're streaming. Dude, YouTube's really bad about that. I've talked about it on many occasions. YouTube and notifying people of when my videos go up and when my streams go up is just terrible. I don't know. I think one of these times, maybe Friday's stream, I will maybe schedule a stream, which means I can't stream on Twitch, which sucks. But if I schedule the stream, maybe more notifications will go out for it. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I know like Wolf Den, he schedules. I know Player Essence schedules. So maybe if I schedule and ignore Twitch, because that's what sucks about it is I can't do Twitch. But if I schedule it, and maybe it'll send out more notifications, and maybe we'll have a higher view count at the start. I know people can queue for it and set reminders, but let's see here. You're getting Starlink on a whim. You're craving some Star Fox. I'm not getting Starlink. Well, here's the thing. I'm in a unique position because I was at E3 and I played Starlink Battle for Atlas. I played like an hour and a half of Starlink Battle for Atlas, which is a pretty decent chunk of time to spend with it, and it's amazing. I didn't need Star Fox to sell me on it. I couldn't even play with Fox. You could play with the R-Wing at E3, but you couldn't play with Fox, and I didn't care. Starlink Battle for Atlas is just, at least from what I've played, a damn good game. It doesn't need Star Fox to justify it. But I am glad that Star Fox is going to encourage more Nintendo people to give the game a try. Because I think once you guys play Starlink Battle for Atlas, whether it's because of Star Fox or whatever, you're going to find out that this game is amazing. And if it takes Star Fox to get more people to try it, then awesome. Because I really want Starlink Battle for Atlas to be a massive success. Obviously, this assumes the full game delivers on what I played at E3, because, you know, I might be built up here and it might not be as good, but I mean, the feeling I had leaving the Starlink demo after an hour and a half with the game was I was as impressed and as wowed with this game as I was with Breath of the Wild at E3 2016. So I have some pretty high expectations and hopes for it. So, Duo Master says, if you get Mario Party, are you streaming it any, and if so, what? I do plan to get Mario Party. I don't know if I'm picking it up this Friday. I'm not sure if I'm picking it up on Friday or not. That's going to be, obviously, hey, Neil Willis with the $10 super chat. It's going to be money dependent, obviously, on if I can. Shout out to Neil Willis. Thank you, as always, for your ongoing support. It's a very tricky thing because it doesn't really have... It has online play, but just for mini games. So it's one of those things where I do plan to stream Mario Party, but it has to be at least when I can get Eric over, and we can do some one-on-one in Mario Party. So it's going to be one of those situations of whenever I can set up a stream with a multiplayer, in-person, local multiplayer session of Mario Party, that's when we'll do a stream of it. So even if I picked it up Friday, it doesn't mean that's going to happen anytime soon. Eric's gone all weekend, including Friday. So it's one of those things where maybe I can even set up where Eric and Yulia are going to be here, and we can do a 3-player Mario Party, stuff. So it's just something that I have to sort out. But yeah, I definitely plan to stream Mario Party one night with Eric versus Nate versus Yulia and see what happens. It's just going to be something that I can't until I own the game. I can't really start planning for what night that's going to be. Anyways, let's see here. Followed you on Twitter last night, so I get notifications that way now, thankfully. Yeah, and Brandon Renshaw, I usually don't put out my live streams on Twitter. I know I did for this one, but it's actually not something I do very often. So unfortunately, it won't help with that. It'll help with our regular videos, and I'm glad, obviously, you chimed in with this one. But we have Aiden Smith 02 over on Twitch. He said, how much do you think Ubisoft are paying Nintendo for Fox? Nothing. I don't think Ubisoft is paying it anything. For those who don't know, I thought I went over this before in a video. Maybe I haven't because it's been a while. Nintendo asked Ubisoft to put Star Fox in the game. Basically, they had Reggie Fils-Aimé. This was before E3 even. This is a while back. This is behind closed doors. They had Reggie Fils-Aimé come out and try out this game because they were going to bring it to Switch. And they wanted to make sure that it was something Nintendo would be excited for. Maybe they were hoping to get it in a Nintendo Direct or something. Reggie played it. And it went from Reggie playing the game to Miyamoto playing the game to it moving just up and up and up the chain to the point where Nintendo turned around to Ubisoft and said, hey, would you mind putting Star Fox in this? We think it would make a lot of sense. So, Nintendo Ubisoft... This wasn't Ubisoft's idea. Ubisoft didn't ask to put Star Fox in, but as soon as Nintendo brought it up, Ubisoft's yes, we can totally do that. So yeah, I don't think there's an Ubisoft paying Nintendo thing. I think maybe Nintendo gets an extra $1 per sale on royalty fees or something. Maybe, and that's if Nintendo even wants to go that route because this isn't technically an exclusive game. The Star Fox stuff is exclusive, but the game itself is multi-platform. So yeah, I don't think Ubisoft's paying Nintendo for anything. Nintendo wanted the character. If anything, Nintendo's paying Ubisoft to put their characters in the game. But obviously Nintendo thought it fit really well with Star Fox and it would help sell more units. And Nintendo makes money on every game that sells on Switch. Every game. So, of course, Nintendo wants every game, including third parties, to sell more because they get royalty fees on every third-party game that is sold on their platform. So, they want to encourage those sales as well. And I think they thought, you know what, if you put Star Fox in this, our fan base is going to eat this game up like crazy. And I think that's what was Nintendo's thought. And we'll see. I hope we get some good sales figures for this game. At least based on what I've played of it. It's oh man. It's I don't want to say it's perfect. I only played an hour and a half, but God, it's so good. It's so good. Let's see here. So excellent stream time for me as you're from the EU. What time is it for me, Nate? It is 12:15 p.m. for me. So about quarter after noon. And we'll only be streaming till about 1 because I have to get a Prime News out today still. And I have to prepare to, my daughter comes off the bus and I got to get her to her biological dad's. Then I have to go to a meeting. It's a parent meeting for my daughter at like 4:30. And then I don't know if I'll be back tonight doing much of anything. I probably won't be streaming anyways. If I do anything tonight, it's going to be just getting a video ready for tomorrow, because there probably will not be a Prime News tomorrow just because I'm leaving at 10 a.m. to go to the Brewers versus Rockies playoff game. You feel Nintendo resents Star Fox? I mean, if Nintendo resents anything, wouldn't it be F-Zero? They still make Star Fox game. We just had Star Fox Zero on Wii U. Reportedly, rumor-wise, there's a Star Fox game in the works by Retro Studios. Star Fox is in Starlink. Like, I don't really think you're looking at a regression like that, where Nintendo like resents the character. F-Zero is the one that's weird because all the F-Zero games sold pretty decent, and then they just stopped making them. Let's see here. Even if it didn't have Star Fox, I would have been hyped for this game, but now I'll get it on Switch instead of PlayStation 4. Yeah, that's the interesting thing. Like, it's gonna look better on Like, I've seen PC footage, PlayStation 4, Xbox. Like, it looks great on those platforms. It's not gonna look as great on Switch, but I mean, I'm gonna get it on Switch because Star Fox. I want those bonus cutscenes. But man, I think it doesn't matter what platform you buy this game on. I think anyone who buys it is gonna be very happy with that purchase by the time they finish. I hope. Again, I haven't like played more than an hour and a half, but man, what I touched of that game was special. It felt like I don't want to throw another game under the bus because it's not really the same kind of game. But there's a certain game out there that I felt like this was almost like a full realization of what that game should have been. But I'm not gonna do that. They're different types of games. So just because one fits my taste doesn't mean the other one's bad. Let me see. Let me scroll down here. Your brother stole your PlayStation 4. Jeez. Let me see. Did I figure out Ryan's transition thing? Yes, it will be. The transition will be appearing in Prime News later today. The transition that, for those who don't know, Ryan Lista, shoutouts man, he made a transition. He's one of our Patreon backers. I didn't pay him for this. I didn't request he did it. He just did it of his own volition because he's like, hey man, you know, in Prime News, when you're going between news topics, right now it's just like a jump cut. And I think a transition would be better, and I think some sort of moving transition would be better. And I'm just like, I agree, but I don't have the skill set right now to do it, nor the time to sit down and figure it out. Because, yeah, obviously you can sit down and watch some tutorials and YouTube videos and try to figure it out. I just don't have the time. Today, I happen to have a little more time than usual because my youngest son, is with my mom, and then she's also picking up Aiden from school. And then Melody's only going to be here for like 30 minutes. So I have more time, but I also have a meeting later, which kind of gets in the way of my time. But it is what it is. I basically from an hour ago until, I don't know, basically for 5 straight hours I get to work, which is nice. It's been a while since I've had a nice 5 straight hours during the day to work. But yeah, I usually don't have the time to make stuff like that. So Ryan went out of his way to self-teach himself how to make a transition, and he created a new transition that we're going to be using in Prime News today. I don't know if it's going to have a sound effect yet this time. It might. I don't know. Because there's no sound effect with the transition he gave me. I have to sort that out, and I don't really know if I'm going to find a suitable sound effect right now. At least a swooshing sound, because it kind of moves across the screen like this. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if I can figure anything out. Because I don't want to spend a ton of time on it, because once this live stream's done in 40 minutes, I kind of have like a very specific time I need to get Prime News done in. And I don't even have the news topics gathered right now or the research done. And that usually takes an hour in that of itself. And then you have the recording, and that usually is about a half hour to 40 minutes of recording and re-recordings and making sure all the audio is all good as best as I can make it in the time I have. Then you have like an hour of editing. So it's like, 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours of stuff right there. And by then, I'm bumping right up to when I need to leave. So me hoping that I have it rendered and uploading and ready to go before I have to leave at like 4:15. It's going to be tight. It's going to be a tight window. But And I got to shower. I got to shower beforehand too because I haven't showered yet this morning. I know I don't look that bad, but I feel gross, and I want to make sure that if I am bumping right up to when I need to leave for the meeting, that I'm good to go. I'm like dressed and showered and not smelling my bad, and just can zoom off to the meeting. It's hard to do stuff after the meeting because after the meeting I'm picking up all 3 of the kids, bringing them home, bath, shower, bed, blah, 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 blah. And I need to make sure I get some good sleep tonight because I have like 6 hours, 7 hours of driving tomorrow to go to the Brewers playoff game and back. So there's a lot of that, and I'm going to be up late, and I'm not going to get back till like 2 a.m., and I got to be up with my kids on Friday morning. So I just have to go to bed a little earlier tonight than I really want to, is basically what I'm saying. I thought about even taking a nap today instead of doing this live stream, but I don't think the extra hour nap is really going to help me. I think I'm just going to feel worse. Let's see here. Red Sox Brewers World Series. I wouldn't mind like a Red Sox Brewers World Series. Obviously, Brewers World Series, no matter who they face, is great. But I wouldn't mind the Red Sox because if we beat the Red Sox, there'll be no one saying like, "Oh, at least you didn't have to face the Red Sox or the Yankees or the this or the that." Like, yeah, if we end up against the A's or the Indians, people will be like, "Well, the Brewers were just a better team." But I'm like, if we beat Red Sox, or Yankees or Houston, people are going to be like, "Yeah, the Brewers earned that World Series." Because there's always going to be excuses made by like Cubs fans and other things about how our World Series is not as good as their World Series or something. It's dumb. And again, I don't want to get ahead of myself because we need to beat the Rockies. The Rockies are very, very good. They've been very hot lately. They have a much better starting rotation than the Brewers do. Then again, we are a non-traditional team when it comes to starting rotation. We don't need our starters to go 6, 7, 8 innings. Heck, if we only get 3 or 4 innings out of our starters, we're fine because we have like an A++ bullpen. So like we go to the bullpen, we use it heavily. Our bullpen's fully rested for the game tomorrow. Everyone's going to be available. It's going to be crazy. I hope the Brewers pull it off. I think it's going to come down to whether our bats continue to show up or not. Christian Yelich and Lorenzo Cain are going to keep hitting, but just because even when they're hitting, we're not always scoring runs. So it's going to be really reliant on Ryan Braun and Travis Shaw and Mike Moustakas and all those other players to get it done. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. I remember Metroid Other M landed on Wii U, so there's a chance for this one too. Does Switch support DirectX 12? No. It's not PC hardware, man. Their OS does not support DirectX 12. 2004 World Series greater than the 2016 World Series. Facts. I mean, both were big. I mean, Boston broke, their long streak of not having a World Series. The Cubs had, their first one in 108 years. The Brewers have never had one. We've been to one World Series when they were in the AL. They haven't been to one since they've been in the NL. Brewers also barely ever make the playoffs, so they haven't had a lot of chances to win a World Series. And this is, this team right now feels like the best shot the Brewers have probably had in my lifetime. Like 2008 when the Brewers made the playoffs, that was just like we're just so thankful to be there because the Brewers hadn't made the playoffs since like the 80s or something. So in 2008, it was like, man, it's been 20 plus years. It just feels good to finally break through and make it to the playoffs. And like Ryan Braun hit a homer in the final game of the season to win the game, and it was like this big, huge deal because we had not made the playoffs in so long. And CC Sabathia was pitching like every other day, it felt like, in that final week because we just didn't have any pitchers. And so like we exhausted everything just to make the playoffs. So, but by the time we got to the playoffs, obviously CC Sabathia was worn out. The emotions of making the playoffs overwhelmed us, and we weren't going to go anywhere. We were just happy to make it. 2011, we were one of the best teams in the NL, but like it was weird because the team never really felt like it had camaraderie. Like we knew Prince Fielder was leaving. We knew a lot of the key pieces probably wouldn't be here long haul. We didn't really have the best starting rotation. Yeah, we had Zach Greinke, but we also knew Zach Greinke was going to be leaving. It was one of these weird things where it was like it basically was just a collection of talent and we got to the playoffs on talent alone, and then got to the NLCS on talent alone. It never really felt like we were a complete team. It was just a very, very talented team. This year feels different because the Brewers feel like a family. I mean, literally top to bottom, everyone on the 40-man roster, the number one thing they will say is we're a family. And a lot of that's because of Craig Counsell and how he manages the team. Craig Counsell thinks, instilling that in the team is what's most important. He would know. He's won World Series before during his playing career. So, he would know that, you got to have that camaraderie to work together because any given night it could be anyone. I mean, against the Cubs, yeah, Christian Yelich had 3 hits, but who scored the runs? Orlando Arcia, one of, the worst hitters on our team, went 4 for 4 against the Cubs on Monday. So you just never know. You got to have that family mentality to lift everyone up because you just don't know on a given night who's going to be that person, who's going to be that pitcher, who's going to be that hitter, who's going to be the fielder that makes that incredible defensive play. You just don't know. So just have everyone work together for the same goal. It's great. And it really works well for the Brewers, who are in the smallest market, the smallest TV market, the smallest fan base in baseball. That also happens to be more of a blue-collar city it's in. So a lot that workman-like, that family-like mentality kind of fits the state of Wisconsin a little bit. So, anyways, it feels weird. Here's the funny thing. I'm talking more about playoff MLB baseball than any of ESPN's talk shows on TV. So ESPN is hosting playoff games, writing articles on their website, and they will talk about the playoffs in their MLB show. They have an MLB show. They do late nights, but First Take, The Jump, whatever that Monday morning show they do, or none of those shows talk. But it's like the playoffs aren't even happening. It's like baseball doesn't exist. It's crazy to me. The biggest sports, and it's not even just them. CBS, no one's talking about it. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that nobody, baseball's TV numbers are up this year, but yet, the sports world's trying to pretend baseball doesn't exist. I don't know when we got to the point that baseball was treated like hockey. That's what's so strange to me. Why am I getting a call from Minnesota? Must be spam. Brewers have a nice logo. I don't like the default logo of the Brewers. I like, I'll show you. So the Brewers' official team logo is an M, like a fancy M, and then there's a piece of wheat underneath it. I think it fits Wisconsin, but I just don't like it. I like this logo. This is actually not their current logo. This logo is awesome. The glove with the glove with the ball. This logo is a classic. It used to be their logo back in the day. They do wear jerseys with this logo a lot. Because it's such a popular logo, but it's not technically their official logo. Their official logo to me is just really boring. Really boring. M with a piece of wheat. Okay. It has nothing really to do with baseball, but all right. I have a great idea to enhance Wii U ports on Switch. Wii U gamepad adapter. No. We don't need the Fisher-Price tablet coming back. No. Are the NES games emulated or are they different? If they are emulated, why couldn't we get the catalogs of the Virtual Console? Because what I heard, the Virtual Console games were emulated. Yes, Virtual Console games are emulated. Anytime, Shadow King. Anytime that you're seeing any of these classic games on any system other than the original, it's emulation. It's always emulation. The SNES and NES Classic, it's emulation. Emulation is just a piece of software that runs the games on the given hardware. Technically, you could say, well, back in the day, the NES itself was emulation for itself. It's a piece of software. So, yeah, of course they're emulated. And as for why we couldn't get the catalogs of Virtual Console, especially since, obviously they have an NES emulator on there, it's because they're not releasing Virtual Console like they used to. They're adding features. So they can't just throw a ROM on there and call it good. They have to modify every single NES game they add to include the multiplayer functionality, to include the swap play, to include the online stuff. They have to modify the games to do that. And because they have to modify that, it takes development resources. It's not just like downloading a ROM on your computer and plopping it in an emulator and playing. It's not that simple. Nintendo has chosen to make it not that simple. So that's why you're not just getting the oodles of Virtual Console games. It's just Nintendo's not going that route. They want to do something different and unique compared to what they've done before. Love it or hate it. The Green Tiger 2. Don't talk like that. So the Green Tiger 2 over on Twitch, he said, I want to die. What do you recommend? What do you mean, what do I recommend? Don't die. That's what I recommend. Fight to live. No matter how bad life is, man, just think, it can always get better. Like, if you're at the lowest of the low, the only way left to go is back up. Let me see here. Baseball is in decline like hockey. The Mitt one. Yeah, this is the Mitt one. This logo's sick. I don't know why they don't just bring it back and make it the official logo. They wear it to, like, half of their home games at this point. It's almost more synonymous with them than their real logo. Anyways, baseball is weird. Like, if you look at the TV ratings, the TV ratings are how you determine if there's a decline or not. MLB TV ratings, because like the NFL's in decline, the TV ratings are going down, right? So if we look at the TV ratings of MLB games, I'm looking at this. The Cardinals, with a 7.23 million. Indians, Red Sox. I mean, the Brewers were averaging 5.51 million viewers per game. All of these were at the time that they, like, from the Giants, Yankees, Astros, Cubs, Mariners, Royals, Brewers, Red Sox, Indians, Cardinals. All of them this season, at the time that the games were on, and the millions of viewers they had, were the #1 ranked thing on TV at the time that the games aired. So it's one of those things that, like, that's a lot of baseball teams that are the #1 ranked show on TV at the time when they air. And then they have a whole bunch at #2 and #3 as well. The White Sox are the ones that, the White Sox, Athletics, Marlins, those are like the 3 teams that just don't do anything on TV at all. They like Marlins had 1.16 million people watch. Athletics only had 750,000. White Sox had a little more than that, but in their region of Chicago, they were like 14th on TV at the time. And obviously it doesn't compare to like NFL games. NFL games are still like way up there. But back in like earlier this year, like back in July, even MLB put up their own report that MLB is up in viewership on the year, and MLB is being watched way more than primetime television. And even some of the premium television out there. So it's one of those things where the MLB numbers are actually on the rise. MLB is not becoming less popular. It's somehow becoming more popular. The NBA is also becoming more popular. The NFL is the one that's starting to come down a little. The problem is the NFL, like in the United States, was up here, and the NBA and baseball were like down here. Then the NBA came to like right here. Baseball started to come up, creeping up on the NBA, and the NFL is like, eh. Like the NFL's come down, but they had such a large lead, it's going to take a long time. For NFL would have to come down quite a bit for NBA and MLB to catch it. But MLB has been getting more popular. That's the thing. Like, there's no reason not to talk about baseball right now. It's literally the playoffs. Heck, I've seen them talk about hockey on these shows. They're in the hockey playoffs, and that's like that and soccer are the 2 least watched sports in the United States. But yet they somehow will have news topics on that. It's just weird to me. I mean, they don't talk about soccer as much, to be fair. But I will see stories on hockey on some of the shows. Especially the radio shows. A lot of the radio people like to talk about hockey. Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask HD, never happening on Switch. I think Skyward Sword HD and then bringing over Twilight Princess and the Wind Waker have to happen before you can even dream of Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask in HD. And I don't think that'll happen this generation, like Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time. Someday, it'll happen someday. It's too much of a moneymaker. Nintendo will bring it back someday. But I think it's going to be a while. It's going to be a while. Just like it might be a while till the next brand new Zelda game. Am I going to MagFest in January? Nope. I don't really go to festivals. I can, like, MagFest is in, let me see, where's MagFest? Is that in Maryland? Wait, Virginia? I'm so confused. Is there multiple of them? I'm not going, though. So they have Super MagFest, which looks like it's in Maryland. Mag Stock, which looks like it's in Virginia. BitGen Gamer Fest, which is in Maryland. Mag West, which is in California. MagFest Laboratories, which is in Virginia. Yeah. I won't be going to any of it. They do have a Game Over thing in Minneapolis. In like 8 days. That one is more of a, I can maybe go to that. Ticket prices aren't that expensive. But, I don't know. The Hook and Ladder Theater presents. Oh, it's just like a show. So, yeah, no, I'm not going to MagFest. I don't go to like any of the festivals. I live in Wisconsin. We don't have like gaming festivals here. We don't really have any of that kind of stuff in this area, so it's really expensive for me to like travel to all this stuff. And I have a family, so like I can't. The fact that I can go to E3, like next year, if we go to E3 again, it's going to be an adventure. Now my fiance is working full time, and she can't just take the week off. So like getting babysitters in place or a daycare, it's going to be fun. It's going to be a wild ride, let me tell you. Will Switch ever support the Polish language? I have no idea. Do you think Nintendo Switch Online service needs more options for online play? If so, please say what we all as fans want. Well, I can't speak for what we all as fans want. I only speak for myself. And options for online play, like there's nothing the service can add for options beyond voice chat on the system. We could talk about how we want messaging and lobbies and all that stuff, but that has like online play happens through the games. So all the improvements I want to see to online play are typically improvements to how the games handle online play. The service itself doesn't really do that. That's on the individual game. Wind Waker HD. Wind Waker HD did not have its 15th anniversary this year. Wind Waker HD came out on Wii U. Now Wind Waker from 2003, the GameCube run, that had its 15th year anniversary this year. Not Wind Waker HD. Let me see here. Mario 64 HD is possible. Maybe. They brought Mario 64 to DS. I don't know if they're going to really explore that. I don't think they're going to bring any of the N64 games in HD right now. How about this upcoming Splatoween? I might get back into Splatoon for it now. Did they announce something for Splatoween? I didn't really look yet. Is that even a thing? Or did you just make that word up? Splatoween. Oh, they did announce a Halloween event. Well, I'll have to talk about that in today's Prime News. So I don't really want to get into that right now. Maybe it'll be in Prime News. It depends on what other news I find. It might be one of a story I sneak in between some of the bigger ones. Just because I love Halloween. Halloween, October, this is like my favorite month of the year. Not because of baseball playoffs, because the Brewers are hardly ever in it. But I just love the weather. I love the fall colors. I love the costumes and scary, spooky stuff. And it's great. I love this month. It's my favorite month of the year. Michigan's just as bad for events too. Yeah, I bet. I mean, if I lived by Milwaukee, there's probably some events down by Milwaukee, but I don't live by Milwaukee. I live in like the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin, so there's nothing that is convenient for me to attend around here. Do you think we have any more surprises this year, or that last Nintendo Direct was it? Probably the last Nintendo Direct was it. Like, no new surprises for games this year, I don't think, no. I am going to give Splatoon 2 another chance. I have no friends to play with. Okay. Thoughts on Switch 2019 lineup? It looks really good so far. I mean, I'm going off the top of my head, so this is probably far from comprehensive. I'm probably forgetting something. We've got Yoshi, Crafted World, Daemon X Machina, I don't know. I'm not that interested in the game, but I mean, it looks good. I'm just not a mech guy. I don't know. Maybe I play it and I'll just be impressed. So Yoshi in that. We have Fire Emblem Three Houses. We have an Animal Crossing. We have obviously a new generation of Pokemon. Man, what else was there? I'm not counting Metroid or Bayonetta yet because they're not confirmed to be 2019 games. I feel like I'm missing. I know I'm missing at least one of the. I think there was two. I think there was 7 games already slated for 2019. And I'm not talking about like ports. I'm talking about brand new games, like exclusive. I don't know. Anyways, those are the 5 that are coming to my mind right now. I'm gonna be kicking myself when I forget what the other 2 were. I literally talked about these on a video a few weeks ago. Now I can't remember. It's been a while. Halloween's the best holiday and autumn the best season. Yes. Well, I don't like heat. In Wisconsin, I don't mind heat in California. I don't mind heat in Texas. I probably wouldn't like heat in Florida either. Anywhere where it's really muggy and hot, no thanks. And it gets muggy and hot in Wisconsin in the summer, and it's just not fun, not enjoyable at all. But where it's a dry heat, dry heat doesn't bother me at all. I can live in a dry heat all day. Must be nice to have seasons. In South Texas, we have summer, light, fall. We have all 4 seasons. You think it's nice, but it really feels like we have winter 9 months of the year, summer for 1 month, fall for 1 month, spring for 1 month. So we have 9 months of winter and then a month of everything else. So that's what it feels like the last 2 years anyways. It feels like winter just lasts forever. And then you finally get like spring in June, and then get summer in July, and then autumn in August, and then winter again. So it's not that great. There's probably a happy medium a little further south than us that has a better balance of winter versus fall versus summer versus spring. But right now in Wisconsin, it's heavily leaning to a majority of our year being winter. I mean, we had snow this year like into July. It was crazy. I almost had a white birthday. My birthday's on July 5th, and all the snow finally melted like on July 3rd. So I almost, for the first time in my life, had snow on my birthday. That would have been crazy, right? Like you're like a month and some weeks into the summer, and there's still snow around. But we're overdue for an ice age, so whatever. Maybe it's just preparing me for the inevitable. Could Nintendo release Splatoon 3 2020 with open world to explore? No. Splatoon is an online multiplayer game. Their single player is always going to be pretty linear because that's not what the primary focus of the game. And they're just going to... And Splatoon 3 is not coming out 2020 anyways. Splatoon is going to be like Smash, once per generation. So until the Switch 2 comes out or the next generation platform arrives for Nintendo, you're not going to see another Splatoon. They'll just keep updating Splatoon 2. Devil May Cry's devs already said that they made sure it doesn't affect progression, just like 4. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, microtransactions? Everyone always says microtransactions doesn't affect progression, and then you play, and sure enough, it affects progression. So it's one of those... They always say that. Let's play the game, and we'll see what happens. Well, people never gave a crap about them being in 4, blah, blah. New England winter is similar. New Hampshire gets terrible. Honestly, I'd want the hub to not be 5 feet big. The hub's not that bad. I don't want the hub to be massive. Like, what's the point to a massive hub in Splatoon? Making you waste more time running between buildings? Like, one of the biggest things I hate, and even this year they condensed it and I still hate it. In NBA 2K19, instead of navigating through menus to go like get your hair cut or go buy sneakers or do whatever in the My Player mode, instead, just like last year when they had NBA Street and you had to explore like a mini part of a city to find these places, now they condensed it to like this one, basically a square block of stuff. And it's so annoying. The most annoying thing to do in the world is run around in this open world on foot to try to find the barber or try to find the shoe store or try to find your agent's building with none of it explained to you and no information on the minimap. It's just such a waste of time. Nobody actually enjoys the act of running from spot to spot. There is quite literally no point to it at all. It's not even realistic. NBA players don't leave their stadium and run around downtown on foot spot to spot. Like, this just doesn't happen. It's so unrealistic. It's so not fun. And the same is like in Splatoon 2. In Splatoon 2, it could just be a series of menus, and I would be just as happy. We don't need this wide open area that only exists for atmosphere reasons. Honestly, I spend almost like no time in that area. I'm always using the R and L button to shift between all the stores, and then I go to the game area, or I go to the single player area, or I go to the whatever, the shady area where you do the other style of multiplayer. Like, it's no. I don't need a bigger hub world, man. The hub world itself is already too big. I don't need a hub world at all. Like, there's no point. There's no real gameplay happening in that hub world. So, like, what's the point? It's just a time waster. It's all it is. It's just wasting my time. It's just more things I have to run by to get to what I actually want to do. But that's just me. I don't like hub worlds that are just a waste of your time. First thing I said, oh wow, it's actually bigger than my room in my house. Oh, from that trailer when they had like multiple streets. Actually, I like the hub much. I didn't like the hub in Sonic Adventures. Waste of time. The hub world is not what's fun. Playing the game is what's fun. I hate massive hub worlds whose only point to existence is to put distance between you and where you're trying to go. With like, there's no real gameplay in between. It's just you start here and you're trying to get to the store here. You're trying to get to the level here. You're trying to get to the local multiplayer here or the other mode here. And all the hub world gives you is just making you waste time to get to those things. See, at least like in Skyward Sword as an example, the hub world had a living, breathing world to it. Right? Like when you're in Skyloft, it felt like you were part of something. When you are in the world of Splatoon, in that hub world, I don't feel part of anything. I don't care about the crap popping above people's heads. I don't care about the gear those people are wearing. I just want to get to whatever the hell I'm trying to do. So I disagree. Hub worlds in Splatoon don't even need to exist, in my opinion. I'm sure it's an unpopular opinion, but I'm tired of wasting my time. I'm tired of booting up Splatoon, wasting all my time talking to those dang, Callie, Marie, and whatever they are this time. I always forget their names. Anyways, I'm tired of wasting my time with them trying to tell me everything happening in the game. Like, let me figure it out on my own. It's going to be listed there when I go to play anyways. And on top of that, you go from that to, now I'm dropped at the very end of the hub world. Now I have to spend, like, the next 15 seconds running on foot all the way across to finally play. It's just a waste of time. It's like they threw in a 15-second loading screen that needs me to press forward on the joystick to get through it. It's just a waste of time. That's not fun. The matches are fun. The multiplayer is fun. Buying gear can be fun. The 15 seconds it takes me to run from where you start to actually do the stuff I want to do is not fun. It's just an interactive load screen. Ugh. Yuck. There are games where hubs make sense. There are games where they don't. To me, Splatoon just doesn't make sense. I know it's cute. I know it's part of world building, but it's irrelevant. It could just not exist and the game would still be just as good. Have I played the Darksiders series, and if so, did I enjoy them? Yes. And yes. I really hope there's a new Darksiders being made and coming out. I don't know if the company doing it can pull it off, because we haven't really seen, like, they bought all the THQ, like THQ Nordic bought all the THQ IPs and blah, blah, blah. But, like, we haven't actually seen them produce, like, a massive THQ game yet. So we'll have to wait and see if they can pull it off, because they don't even have most of the same team members, because they ran off and formed other indie studios and stuff. See, Dynamic Kirby, again, that's different. Just like Skyward Sword. Like, Skyward Sword, well, for starters, it's not a multiplayer game. Like, anything that's not multiplayer, I think hubs make more sense for starters. Plus, like I said, Skyloft and Skyward Sword, like, there's mini games to discover, and there's secrets to discover, and there's things to find and things to do in the hub world. Like, the hub world itself is like this entire thing. Whereas in Splatoon, the hub world itself is nothing. You're just trying to get into a shop so you can go shop to shop to shop, or you're trying to get to a match. There's like no point to the hub world. There's nothing fun or interesting to do. It's just to make it feel like you're part of this big community, which I don't really give a crap about. I'm not here to see what other players are doing. I'm here to do what I want to do. But that's just me. Again, I'm sure those people who love Splatoon's lobby. That's what it is. It's really a lobby. To be honest, it's a lobby where you can't really directly interact with anyone. That's basically what it is. Then you have to waste 15 seconds running across it to finally do something. Again, what about the one in Mario Sunshine? Again, single-player games compared to multiplayer games. It's a totally different experience. Single-player games are built on the idea of exploring the world that you're in. That includes the hub world. That's totally different. Just like Mushroom Kingdom in Super Mario 64, that's different. Hub worlds make sense there because the hub world is a natural part of the actual game under normal gameplay. Like, you can't even fire your weapons. You can't even fire your weapons in the hub world, but you can still jump. You can still collect stars. You can still find secrets because those games, the hub worlds, feel like a natural part of a normal level of the Mario game. Just like Skyloft felt like a natural part of a normal town in the Zelda game. But in Splatoon, it's like, nah, we're going to strip away all your stuff, and you just run from point A to point B. There's nothing to actually do. Hub World in Splatoon, DBZ Fighters is a complete waste of time. It's different, yes, but it's dumb. Just make a main... Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I understand a sense of community and trying to be different, but it's also, like, detrimental to me. I don't care. I literally boot up Splatoon and just run to what I want to do. It's just wasting my time. After they are... And Splatoon's doubly bad because it already wastes your time for, like, the first minute you boot up the game. Especially if you're like me and maybe you haven't played in, like, a week, and you boot it up, oh, this was that. Like, it's cool. Let me know those things are added when I go to the shops. Because then again, like, they'll mention all this stuff is added, then you go to the shop, and then they'll remind you, hey, look, new stuff was added. Like, yeah, I know. I just spent like a whole minute booting up the game to be told that stuff was added. Thanks. And I get, like, they're trying to reminders and stuff. There's children that play the games, and I understand some of these things are in there for their benefit, but I think they can figure it out without needing a minute explanation and then 15 seconds of running. The announcements need to... I think everybody agrees in Splatoon there needs to be a skip button for announcements. I mean, there really does. Unless it's like a game-breaking bug or some like massive patch. Like, I could see like maybe you can't skip that. Or like a new mode was added and they need to explain that mode to you. I could see that. But in general, most of the announcements need to have a hold X to skip. You're going to get dressed and not walk over here? My live stream ends in 6 minutes, so... Yeah, it's just noon to 1. This is the Q&A I do every Wednesday. It's just my fiance off camera. She walked in not dressed, and I'm like, don't come over. Don't come over here. I'm sure you guys are probably thinking, no, come over here. Saints Row 3 Switch have physical version. Oh, will it? I have no idea.
I thought you were just talking to yourself.
No.
It's like boys' conversations don't make any sense.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, when you're just listening in and you don't realize I'm talking to people, it can sound really weird. And after this, then I'm showering, and then I have to work on a Prime News video. You okay? Welcome back to the world. I'm surprised you're awake. I figured you wouldn't wake up until you absolutely needed to. Which will basically be when I wake you up.
What? A girl likes to sleep.
It's okay. Damn. Okay, I have something to talk to you about my mom, but I'll talk to you about it when I'm done. Okay. About the kids tomorrow. All right, let's see here. feel like people would complain if there wasn't a hub world. I would get tired of menus all the time. But the thing is, you're not in the menus very long. That's the thing. What people forget about, like, when you're doing Call of Duty and you're just going between menus, people don't complain about the menus in Call of Duty because you don't spend hardly any time in them. The whole point of the menu system is just to get you to what you want to do. You spend 99% of your time in Call of Duty playing games. You're in the menus hardly at all throughout gameplay. Whereas in Splatoon, you waste all this time to basically get to menus. Do you realize what you're doing, right? You're wasting 10 to 15 seconds to get to a store that is basically just a menu. So you could skip to the next menu and skip to the next menu. And then you're wasting 15 seconds to get to the gameplay matches that, again, are just a bunch of menus. So all they're doing is they're keeping the menus in, but they're making you waste time to get to those menus. So you still have to use menus to play Splatoon 2. To do anything in Splatoon 2, you have to use menus. The whole thing is still menu-based. But now they make you waste time to get to them. So what they're doing is, as boring as you could think those menus are, what they're doing is they're saying, hey, we want to waste more of your time to get to the menus to actually play the game. It's like, how is it boring? The whole point is boot up the game, you're in the menu for 2 seconds, get into a match. Be done. You don't have to look at the menus for more than 2 seconds, get into a match. That's the idea. Instead they're like, nah, press forward for 15 seconds, then go to the menus, then go through another load screen, because it's funny, you walk forward for 15 seconds to get to another load screen to load up the menus. It's like, why didn't you just load into the menus in the first place? You're just adding more and more time between me and actually playing the game. And I'm not for that, man. Menus would be boring. Menus would be quick. Like, menus are boot up the game, select what I want to do, good to go. Like a lot of other games out there. There's a reason that menus have been around for ages and ages and ages and ages. They work, they function, they're quick. You don't actually stay in the menus very long. You're in the menus for like seconds, mere seconds in most games. But in Splatoon 2, you could waste 15 seconds just to get to a load screen to load up the menus. And then, oh gosh, I want to go buy new gear while I'm in the menus to play matches. Well, I have to exit, run to a building, so I have to exit the thing with another load screen to load the hub world. Then I have to run from the hub world over to a shop, and another load screen to load the shop. And then from the shop in there, I can kind of go around and buy gear and swap gear and do all this stuff. And then I have to exit the shop for another load screen to get back to the hub world to get to another load screen to get back into the matches. It's absolutely ridiculous. You know how much time you are wasting to get new gear and to play multiplayer matches because they couldn't just make it a menu system on its own and they had to put everything around a hub world. They waste so much of your time. And you gotta remember, the matches themselves are what, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes at most? But it might take me 5 minutes just to go buy a new piece of gear and then get back onto the hub world to get back into the matches. It might take me 5 minutes just to do all of that. Why? Ugh. It's such a waste of time. And it's one of my, I had this complaint about Splatoon as well. It's just a waste of time. There's no point to the existence of hub worlds in Splatoon 1 and Splatoon 2. There just isn't. They don't add anything but wasting your time. I understand an argument for atmosphere, but even then, you didn't load up Splatoon 2 to sit in the hub world. I guarantee none of you guys thought, you know what I want to do? I want to boot up Splatoon 2 so I could just sit in the hub world and look. Oh, cool. Oh, it's a Splatfest. Look, there's shiny flashing lights and fireworks. So did you load up the game to stare at the flashing lights and fireworks in the DJ booth? Or did you fire up Splatoon 2 during the Splatfest to go actually play the Splatfest? It's just a waste of time. It's all flash and bag and presentation that adds nothing to the actual act of playing Splatoon. But again, I know that this is probably an unpopular opinion. I'm sure a lot of people, the games are popular, and I'm sure a lot of people love the hub world. So again, it's fine if you disagree with me and everything on that. I don't find a point to it. Nate let Yuli on stream today. It's not up to me. It's up to her. Do you think these unnecessary hub worlds and multiplayer games will go away one day? They already don't exist in most multiplayer games. Most multiplayer games don't have hub. I mean, ARMS doesn't have a hub world. It's just like Splatoon for Nintendo, or I guess apparently DBZ Fighters. I don't know. I don't own the game. Apparently that might have a hub world. These hub worlds of multiplayer games that aren't like no gameplay is just pointless to me. So I'm hoping it goes away. But it's probably not going to go away in Splatoon. It's just too popular of a game, and they think they're doing it right, so they're just going to keep doing it. And that's fine. It doesn't make Splatoon less of a game because it has a hub world. It just makes it more like tedious for me to play. And I hate tedium. Tedium is just... It's like the Korok seeds. I think some of the Korok seeds in Breath of the Wild are brilliant. And I highly enjoyed finding them and doing the necessary steps to get the Korok seed. But much of the Korok seeds are complete tedium. Pick up a random rock here. Like, that's not fun. That's tedium. So then I'm running around the world. If you're not using a Korok seed map, you're running around the world picking up every rock because one might have a Korok seed in it. Or like you climb to the top of the mountain just so you can pick up a rock and get a Korok seed. Like, that's not entertaining. That's tedious. And of course I'm going to complete it because I want to 100% Breath of the Wild in Master Mode. But I'm only ever doing it once, and I'll never do a Korok seed again in that game. Not intentionally, anyways. But some of the Korok seeds are legit fun, and those are the ones that should stay in. They should cut out like 700 of the Korok seeds, leave in the 200 of them that are actually engaging and fun. But, anyways, that's just me. Sure, the weird way everything loads is dumb, but when the point is avoiding the hub, you can. You can't really avoid the hub. You never have to be in the hub the moment after it loads, though. You can hit X anywhere. X doesn't take you to where you want to be in the menu system, though. You know what I'm saying? At least from what I remember. I'll have to load this Splatoon and double check. X takes me to, if I remember, X takes me to edit my character, edit my weapons. If I remember. I could be wrong on that. I'd have to load Splatoon 2 back up and check. Pretty sure all X ever did was make it so I could change out my gear. It didn't take me to the shop. I think you can go to the shops from the gear menu, though. I don't remember. But, like, a load screen for a load screen, again, it's a waste of time. Just make it a normal menu-based system. It would be so much more convenient and better. But I digress. It's life. Some people like it, some people don't. We'll move on. Actually, we've got to be done here because we're actually at 1:02, 2 minutes past. Well, you aren't supposed to find all of them. You're supposed to stumble upon them. But here's the thing, Alecraft. Here's the thing. You're supposed to stumble upon them. Throughout your adventures in Breath of the Wild, let's just talk about the ones that are under rocks. At what point do you really need to pick up a rock? Right? At what point in the gameplay are you like, man, I need to pick up a rock? Okay. To solve a Korok seed puzzle? Okay, well, you're not stumbling upon anything then. You're purposely seeking it out. Okay, well, maybe to throw at an enemy. Okay, but the rocks that are located by the enemy camps don't have Koroks under them. So you're not organically discovering them. Does that make sense? A lot of these, like when you talk about how, you know, you're not supposed to find all the Koroks, you're supposed to be organic. Yeah, the ones that are like, that you stumble upon, those are the ones that are the fun ones to find. The problem is, like 700 of them are not ones you would ever stumble upon unless you're seeking them out. Because you don't have a reason to pick up a rock. There's no reason to it. It's just part of the landscape. There's no reason to find half of these Korok seeds. It's not something you really stumble. The ones you stumble upon are like when you climb to the top of something and one just happens to appear. And you're rewarded for exploring. Like, okay, yeah, you accidentally stumbled upon one. But yeah, it's one of my main criticisms of Breath of the Wild is the Korok seed. I mean, yeah, you don't have to do them at all, which is fine, obviously, for a lot of people. And I don't do 100% every Zelda game I play, but Breath of the Wild is my favorite Zelda game, so I feel like this nagging thing in my head that I need to 100% it. And not just the game telling me I 100% it. There's things you can do beyond the 100% that's not part of it that I want to do as well. So it's just like I didn't, at least like the kinship stones in the Minish Cap, I love those. But like Korok seeds is like a whole new level of tedium to me. Live stream myself working out. I'm not gonna live stream myself working out. One, wouldn't look pretty. It would put me in a very bad situation. My shirt popping up all the time. Sometimes my butt hanging out. It just would not be a situation that would probably be even okay for YouTube. YouTube probably won't even allow it. And two, I can't, when I go to the gym, they don't allow cameras. So I can't live stream from the gym anyways. And since we're getting towards winter, that's where I would work out. I wouldn't do it in my house because then it just gets hot and sticky in the house and it just stays that way for a long time. Yeah, you're not really stumbling on them. Yeah, you're really not. You're seeking them out. That's the thing. Like, some of them you do stumble upon, but it's not very many. Most of it is because you're purposely looking for them. Like, oh, I picked up a rock once, so it was under a rock. So now if I want to find more, I'm going to keep picking up rocks. Like, it's not really a natural occurring thing. And what sucks is you get to the Lost Woods, you're like, look at all these Koroks, and none of them give you seeds. And it's like, I just discovered the mother lode. Oh, no, I didn't. You never seen a rock and thought, that's out of place. But see, here's the thing, Owlcraft. Here's the thing. Yes, you might see, especially like you see a rock circle, right? And there's and the circle's incomplete and there's like a rock off to the side. And you're like, that looks weird. What happens if I put the rock there? I get that, but that's not stumbling. Because once you do that one time, right? You put that rock back to where it supposedly belongs. One time. Fine. You stumbled upon a Korok. But now you know every time you see something like that, it's just a Korok seed. You're not stumbling upon it anymore. You're not curiosity anymore. You just know that's a Korok. You don't need, like, subconsciously you're just like, oh, okay. So, like, doing that once, great. Doing that 17,000 times to unlock a Korok seed? No. It's only organic the first time it happens. After that, you already know. You know that's a Korok seed puzzle. You know, after you climb to the top of a mountain for the first time and you pick up a rock and there's a Korok under it, now you know every time you climb to the peak of something and there's a rock, there's probably a Korok under it. It's no longer organic. You just know. You're not stumbling upon them anymore. You know now what they are. Now, if they could find 900 different ways to make it feel unique, fine, put 900 Korok seeds in. But they didn't. They basically found like 10 ways. They basically have like, what is it? I think 40 unique, like highly unique ways to get the Korok seeds. And then they just repeat those 40 over and over and over again. Some of them they repeat hundreds of times. It's just tedium. Just tedium. But hanging out is what makes you Fupa King. Jeez. You don't stumble upon most of the seeds. You stumble upon most of the puzzles for the seeds, is the point, I think. Yeah, but once you stumble upon the puzzle one time, you now know what all those puzzles do and what the end result is and how to solve them. So that puzzle should only be there once, but it's not. They didn't come up with 900 different puzzles. They came up with 40, and then they just repeat them. Anyways, that's going to do it. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you guys on Friday night stream. That's the next time I'll be streaming. Peace out.